Rock-Me Sea area is a world of contrast. On the one hand, nature has endowed it with a bounty of beauty. On the other hand, man has inflicted the wounds aghast. Over the centuries, Rock-Me Sea area has evolved as a unique ecosystem of rare assemblage of life. The fish, dolphins, pearls, corals, and pristine coastal plains of mangroves and marshes have dominated the memory of every seafarer in the past, and it has been here that sustained harmony between man and nature existed for long. The Rock-Me Sea area is the home for about 8% of all the world's corals in terms of coverage area. The mangrove swamps on its coast host over 2,500 species of life forms. Over 1,000 species of fish have inhabited this region for ages. The sea area also takes pride in being the habitat for all the 5 subtropical species of turtles, namely hawksbill, greens, leatherbacks, loggerheads, and olive ridley. There are about 20 dolphin and whale species in the region, representing 25% of all known species in the world. The population of dugong is rich, and second in global importance only to Australia. Of late, the region has witnessed one of the highest rates of economic growth in the world, and the large reserves of oil on land and under the sea have become the prime movers of development.
I always consider this sea area as the greatest pipeline, that every day 20-30 million barrels of oil goes through it, and every day we are challenged.
This has brought wealth and at the same time a tremendous amount of pressure on the sea. The rapid urbanization and industrialization of the coastal areas have been causing accumulating ecological stress. The region has also witnessed the wrath of 3 major wars and several incidents of abuse. After the invasion of Kuwait by Iraq, the region witnessed the largest oil spill known to man, and a decade earlier, the Nowruz oil spill had remained the longest recorded spill. Fires of war and anguish have burned hugely in the recent past. These are the waters that have undergone immense ecological stress. The Regional Organization for the Protection of the Marine Environment, established through the collective vision of 8 countries of the region to protect the shared marine environment, has a mission to understand the sea and pursue appropriate activities in the region. The Rock-Me oceanographic cruises are thus one of those distinct mechanisms to periodically understand the state of the marine environment, to catalyze all necessary interventions and actions. The Winter Oceanographic Cruise, launched by Rock-Me from Bandar Abbas on 1st of February 2006, consisting of 3 legs, covering a total of 127 stations, is one in that sequence, but rather unique by the fact that it is the first attempt ever to understand the natural dynamics of the winter season. The knowledge of what happens in winter is vital to our understanding of the holistic behavior of this region. However, none of the earlier collective efforts had addressed this, and the present cruise is thus a landmark in the history of oceanographic expeditions in our sea.
تخریب محیط، آلودگی‌هایی که به واسطه مسائل نفتی، گازی، ترددهای متعدد کشتی‌ها و دستکاری‌های بشر در سواحل ایجاد میشه،
Over 100 scientists from the region assemble on the ship contracted by ROPME and work with the state-of-the-art onboard facilities. A day on the cruise is business as usual, with a range of activities, beginning from preparing the instruments to actual sampling and data management.
Try to be very calm in the emergency situation.
A large rosette sampler that holds 12 bottles of 1 liter each is lowered in every station to collect water from different depths. These waters are to be used in the laboratory later to analyze an array of physical and chemical parameters and relate to the state of being of the sea and its biota. In every station, a conductivity, temperature depth probe called CTD is sent down for vertical profiling of salinity, conductivity, and temperature, along with other important data like the sound velocity, density, turbidity, pH, chlorophyll A, and dissolved oxygen. In the upper layers of water called the photic zone, microscopic algae called phytoplankton synthesize food that reaches different levels of the food pyramid in the sea by way of transfer through consumption. Sampling for these has been one primary goal of the ROPME cruise. Large plankton nets are used on the ship for this purpose.
جلو
On the seabed live a great variety of life called benthos, and understanding their life efficiency is a known pathway to understand the state of the environment itself. Benthic sampling is done using the Van Veen grab that is lowered from the surface. cruise comes to a successful conclusion when the research vessel reaches Shuaich port in Kuwait on 11th of March, 2006. The end of this historic voyage is marked by the presence of distinguished dignitaries at the wharf. The end of the cruise is not in any sense the end of the responsibility. Hundreds of samples are to reach safe hands for analysis. Thousands of data sets are to be synthesized to create knowledge, and a new beginning is to be made in utilizing this knowledge to sustain protection of the Rockme Sea area. Further to this, we need to build scenarios of what the future might hold in store and which parts of the sea are the hotspots requiring priority attention. Rockme is saddled with these challenges and the need to develop proper action plans and advice to the member states. The challenge of the Rockme Sea area through its problems and prospects, and through the shadows of modernization practiced by its residents, is our tryst with destiny. Protecting our marine environment is a collective responsibility that we need to pursue by way of our administrative decisions, as well as by our daily actions. Rockme, on its part, is proactive on a mission mode in coordinating activities of marine protection and creating environmental consciousness.
I'd like to express my thanks to Dr. Al-Abadi, the Executive Secretary of Rockme. My thanks are also due to each of you from Rockme member states who have supported the cruise.
This is a historical event, and what have been done is a milestone for all the member states.
We have thousands of samples to be analyzed, to be interpreted, to be compared.
The result of the cruise, because this is the document that remains for the future and for the history. We as scientists work together. Don't look at the boundary.
Since every tomorrow dawns from the dusk of the day before, the realm of change in the Rockme Sea area lies in the commitment of collective actions of the people. It is indeed a fortune that the region has all the needed resources, political will, commitment of governance, and a deep consciousness towards environment. It is important that we judiciously use all these virtues and answer the call of our times, for the duties to environment are indeed duties to humanity.
If our sea survives, then we survive. If it doesn't survive, we all perish.
Future beckons that for the dawn of a brighter tomorrow, we join hands and work together.